And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to AtTheTrack.live. I am Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including but not limited to friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force, a whole range of topics. After we have covered all the science topics and conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the course. After they have selected their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, the materials the car is made from. All of the information that they can observe, they log into a spreadsheet, and after that, they've conducted the experiment. Well, they've selected their cars, they've created a hypothesis, they've decided which car they think is going to be fastest, and after they've done all of that, the only thing left to do is then conduct the experiment. And the way we conduct experiments with All About Aerodynamics is the students set up a 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip, and they race the cars, and they observe how their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on what they observed? In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars, we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information on our science program, All About Aerodynamics, all you have to do is go to our website, aaAerodynamics.com, or right here, right there. Follow us on Instagram, also AA Aerodynamics. And all of the information you need is in the bio, and we can figure out how to bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is AtTheTrack.live. So what is AtTheTrack.live? Well, before I can bring in all those cars for the students to use, I have to make sure that I know which cars I've got. They have to be cataloged, they have to be numbered, I have to take a picture, I have to have a little video. Then, once I have the cars organized, I can take them for the students to use. Well, that process was long and boring, and I wanted to find a way to kind of spice it up and make it interesting for me. So I came up with the idea of AtTheTrack.live. So what I do is each week, I go into storage where I have hundreds of cars that have not been opened, grab some of those, crack those open, I get my picture, I get my video, do a little review, and since the track is already set up, might as well put those cars to the test and see which of the new cars is in fact the fastest. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate, because all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live. And when you get there, you're going to have 3 options. One's the YouTube stream link, one's the Twitch stream link. But the third link is the most important link. That is the link that says choose your car. If you select that option, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics AtTheTrack.live fleet are listed, numbered, cataloged. We are up to 967 cars currently in the fleet. Excuse me. choked on that 967 number. We are slowly but surely working our way to our 1,000th car introduced into the fleet. And I am still trying to figure out which car that is going to be. I would like it to be something a little special, but, you know, I haven't figured out which car that's going to be. Now, I'm taking suggestions, and the only thing is that the car, it can't have rubber tires. Because the ideal thing would be, oh, you want a special car for the 1,000th car in the fleet, then there's plenty of premium, cool, high-end Hot Wheels cars to choose from. The problem is most of those premium cars all have rubber tires. And the rubber tires, the real riders, don't work on our track. There's too much friction, and the cars are just too slow. So we need to find a special car to be the 1,000th car, but it also has to have plastic wheels. So some of the candidates I would think of right off the bat are the ID cars, like this Mercedes, this AMG, because it is from the ID car line, and those were premium cars that had to work with the ID track and accessories. So they were premium cars, but they had plastic wheels. But I think between the ones I have and the ones I've seen out at like car shows or Hot Wheels swap meets and things, I think I have most of the ID cars, but I'll check, because I think an ID car there might be one in there that I don't have that might end up being that special car to be the 1,000th car. Hey, Rough Shot, how you doing? I was just watching your channel last night, and it's always where I go to find out what I should be looking for in the stores, because you hit up all the spots, and I get a chance. There's a few cars. Actually, one of the cars that I got that's going to be introduced today, I saw I forget the store you were in, but you were going through and looking at the Hot Wheels cars, and I saw it. And so then I usually just pause the video and kind of zoom in a little bit, and then I know what car to look for, and I found it, and we're going to check it out today. But yeah, back to this 1,000th car. Just looking for something. I don't know what it would be. If it would be an old school car. A lot of the really old school cars are made of metal. Like metal on metal, so they're really heavy. So I would like the 1,000th car to hopefully be a car that could possibly contend for our fastest in fleet title. But if you get to this page, if you go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose your car, and you get to this page and you scroll through, all you have to do is find the car that you think is going to be faster than the cars that are introduced and the cars that other viewers have picked, and we will see if you're right. If you are right, you will get the opportunity to take on our fastest in fleet car. But once you find your car, let's say it's this pile driver, car number 393. You can click on it, take a close-up look, check it out, see from the reflection, this looks to be plastic on a metal base. And if that's the car you want, you just take the number, in this case 393, drop it in the chat. I will pull that car, and then we'll see if you can take down our fastest in fleet car. And our current fastest in fleet car is this one. It is the Super Stinger. And the Super Stinger became our fastest in fleet car a couple of weeks ago. Never Ending picked this. It was another of his kind of out-of-the-box, off-the-wall picks, and it turns out this car was pretty fast. It took out the Arkham Asylum Batmobile, which was our previous fastest in-fleet car. That Arkham Asylum Batmobile took out our Mercedes-Benz 500E, which was the fastest in-fleet car about 2 weeks before that. And then before that, it was the Blitz Speeder for a while. So we've had a lot of turnover at the top recently, especially when we consider that last year it was pretty much the Blitz Speeder, the Gazella R, then the Blitz Speeder came back and was the fastest car for most of this year. But now we've had some turnover. And because we've had turnover, because we've had new cars challenge and new champions, that means that pretty much all the cars are back on the table because you never know. A car that's already raced and lost to maybe the Gazella or lost to the Blitz Speeder might be able to come back and beat the Super Stinger. I don't know. We're going to find out. But the Super Stinger, it's hard to... We've put it in the wind tunnel every Wednesday. We have Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and we put the cars in there, turn it on, and see what we can see from the airflow over, under, and around the cars. And with this one, what I keep pointing out is the fact that it has this teardrop shape. And if we turn it this way, you can see it right here. Gets smaller at the bottom, kind of goes up high, comes back down. So you see this teardrop shape. And even at the bottom, most of the Hot Wheels cars are just flat. This one, it pulls up. So you definitely see the teardrop shape. And the teardrop is the most aerodynamic shape there is. And when you're talking about drag, that means that drag is going to impact a teardrop shape much less than it would a different shape, a square, a rectangle, something like that. But this car's got some interesting curves. It's got that sort of teardrop shape. It's got these two channels where the air clearly comes up, and we see this in the wind tunnel. It's coming up over the top. Then it kind of breaks off a little bit right here, the airflow. And then it's got this really narrow back end. But it's got a flat, wide, a little flat area right here that presses up against the launching blocks. And it has, at least for the last 2 weeks, it's been fast, and it has remained champion. So we're going to see if that continues today. We've got a bunch of cars to introduce, and we've already got 3 viewer picks. We've got some special cars, a whole bunch of things that are going to happen today. So let's get to it. Now, we just dropped yesterday. If you were here last week, you were here for the whole Rockin Railer race that we conducted, and the Rockin Railer is this one. Yeah, the Blitz Speeder fell, and it's been chaos. And now I think it's good because now everybody has a shot because it's kind of reset the whole kind of landscape. So with this Rockin Railer, we raced it a couple of weeks ago, and the problem with this is that the little tab on the bottom of the wheel right there hits the engine. There's another little tab on the engine, and it basically makes the engine rock back and forth. That's the Rockin Railer part. So the tab on the wheel hits that little tab right there on the engine, and it makes it rock back and forth. Well, that's cool and all, but it's not cool for racing. And what we did is clipped off that little tab. But I got another Rockin Railer, this one, and we clipped the tab off the wheel. And when we did that, we put those 2 cars on the track to see what would happen, and it turns out that, it wasn't a big surprise, but it turns out that the car without the tab on the wheel was faster. And we just dropped a little video showing that those race results. So if you happen to miss it, you can either watch it on our live, just watch the whole episode from last week, or you can check out the little short video. And basically it works when the tab is on there, it ends up, it's like one of those carnival prize wheels with the little tab and and the tab hitting the little spokes is what ends up slowing the wheel down. And that's what happened with this. These cars both came out of the gates pretty much even, because obviously they're the same car. But then once that tab was clicking, hitting that engine, it slowed that car down, and the other Rockin railer just took off. I think so there was no Rockin on this railer. There was some Rockin on that railer. So the railer, it's just the railer. There's no more Rockin. But anyway, the one without the tab is now going to be the one that is in the fleet. And it also gives me another little lesson to go over with the students about why one car is faster than the other. But all right, we're looking for fast cars. Tracy Chapman, we're looking for a fast car. I got a fast car, maybe. So this is the one that I saw in Roughshot's video that I then was looking for and found. And it is this one, the Instant Boost. It is a coffee cup themed Hot Wheels car. And it's in those Starbucks colors of green and tan. We're going to crack this open. Is there anything on the back? There is. Born in 2025 in El Segundo, California. Designer Hot Wheels. Add an extra shot of speed to fuel your morning with a healthy helping of caffeine. After all, the best way to boost your day is with a fast commute in Instant Boost. So, here we go. Instant Boost. We're going to crack this open and take a look. By the way, let me check the weight. The Blitz Speeder was the champion for so long that I just knew the weight, so I never had to drop it in to check. But the Super Stinger weighs in at 30.7 grams, so it's light. It seems like a big car, but it's not heavy at all. The white part on the bottom is metal. All the blue is plastic. 30.7 grams, so kind of light. Let's see. Yeah, this is. I'm curious about this one too. The Instant Boost. Let's check the weight first. It weighs in at 27.2 grams, so it's very light. And light cars have their own kind of issues on the track. Let's take a look at it. Hope if I get it in focus there. And get ready to grab a little video first. And so you can kind of see the coffee cup. The top of the cup is at the back, and it's a little compact car here, and we'll see how that kind of plays out. Yeah, this definitely might be a sleeper. I'm always worried when cars are in the 20s and as far as weight, because they usually, what happens is the drag just catches up. It gets to them around the back end of the track, and we see those lighter cars start to slow, and then the other cars kind of pass it. The back end, it's got this engine sticking out. These two tailpipes I can see. Looks like those are going to be the points of contact with the launching block. Yeah, the bottom part of the cup, or the front grill on the car, it's a lot of surface area, and that's going to be probably an issue, because you figure, okay, so the car's light. We get that. This is car number 970. This is the Instant Boost. So the car is light, and that already usually means that drag is going to have an impact and slow it down. But when you have that big front grille, that's a lot of surface area for the for the air to build up against. And what we usually see when we put these cars in the wind tunnel is you can see that air just stacking up. When it comes in, it's just kind of stacking up. There's a lot of high pressure right there in the front. And then eventually it's like, all right, where are we going? And it'll go over, under, around. In this case, because it's got this kind of ridge right here, I think that when we put this in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, we'll see the air stack up here. And then when it comes up over the top, I think it will just break off. And that's not good. What you want is that kind of streamlined effect where that air just stays connected to the body of the car all the way around. But we'll see. Let's see. Is this... So on this one, the base is metal. It's a metal base, so that tan part is metal. And then the cup, the white part, is plastic. And this is gonna be interesting, because it is the only like small cars that we've had that have done really well were some cars from the 90s, and they were all metal. And so they were heavier. They were small cars, but they were heavier because they were all metal. So I don't know that we've had a car. This is what, 27 grams. So that's not much. It's a little light. It's a little light. And I don't know if we've had a car in that range that's actually done well on the track. This may be a first. Get it turned just a little. All right, there we go. We've got the instant boost. This little Starbucks coffee cup inspired car. And you know, with this one, there's going to be, this is just seems like with the donut car and all the rest of those food related cars, that there's going to be all kinds of colors and things with this. But I think this is the one to get. Although they might do a pink and white one, like a Dunkin' Donut style cup. But we'll see with this one. This is going to be interesting. The instant boost got the little, see what this little graphic is on the edge. Little coffee cup guy, brew, race, repeat. And yeah, this is cool. I like that. Yeah, it may make it right through the first round. It like everything else around here, it all just depends on kind of matchups, and we'll see how this car matches up and what it matches up against. I picked up, well, I didn't pick this one. I don't know when and where it came from. I had a bag of loose cars, and I decided, all right, need to start thinning these cars down. So let me go in and check them out, see what's in here. Most of them were duplicate cars, but some weren't, including this one called Itso-Skeenie. Itso-Skeenie, but it's spelled Skeenie. Itso, Itso dash Skeenie. So Itso-Skeenie. This thin, this is all metal. So it's thin, but it's all metal. What's the manufacturing year on this one? It is not listed, but I would guess it's going to be somewhere in the, it's got to be 90s, early 2000s, just based on the weight. But now I don't think I have one of these, but I'm going to check the spreadsheet and we will see. Let's see here. Itso, Iron Man. Nope. So here we go. Itso-Skeenie. Let's see what this thing weighs. It feels heavy, even though it's thin. But it's coming in pretty good. 36.2 grams. So that's not too bad at all. That is right at the top end of what we used to consider, and still pretty much do consider, the sweet spot was usually between 32 and 36 grams for these cars. I think the Arkham Asylum Batmobile and definitely the Super Stinger fall just outside of that range at about 30 grams. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but most of the cars that we see perform well on the track are in that range of about 32 to 36 grams. So this one at 36.2, it's a little bit outside that, but not so much so that it can't do well. And I'm going to go ahead and get this still picture of the Itso-Skeenie. All right, got that. And now we will be taking this little video, taking a full 360 look at this car. Get this locked in here. And it's very thin. I think aerodynamically, it should have a pretty good aerodynamic profile. That air should be able to flow right over, under, and around. More concerned with the over. There's not really anything to break up the airflow. Now the back end, looking at that, it's got this that thin strip, that thin silver strip coming out of the back, and that is all that is going to press up against the launching block. Now, because this car is narrow, the question is the combination of the car being narrow and that that little thin strip in the back not having a lot of surface area touching the launching block, are those two things going to make the car bounce around the track, possibly crash? It is open wheel. That's another thing to consider. So, open wheel cars, if they come out and they crash, could be a wrap altogether. But we're going to find out with the Itso-Skeenie. And I don't know. This should be interesting. I think what may get this one is whether or not it's bouncing around the track. And if it gets a bad launch, hits one side, Isaac Newton's third law of motion, every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's going to hit one side, bounce across the other side, and it's going to bounce back and forth until it eventually loses the race, because every time it hits one of those sides, that's some additional friction that's caused, and that just works to slow the car down. But if it can get a good launch, and we say this with just about every car, if it can get a good launch, and if it can stay straight, then you never know. You just never know. We've got some interesting cars that are going to be racing, so I'm just checking the year on this instant boost, and that is not listed, but I'm pretty sure it's 2025, but I will double check. All right, so we've got the Itso-Skeenie, we've got the instant boost. Let's see what else we have. So in the fleet, we have the, where is it? We have the, come on. We have the RDO2, which is blue. That's car number 326. We have the RDO2, another one, but it's green. We have the RDO4, and we have the RDO6. So let's check these out. The RDO2, car number 302. And I think, pretty sure this has been, okay, so the RDO2, we have this one. And I think Roughshod, you may have picked this, or one of the other ones. So we have the RDO2, which is this one. Then we have the RDO4, which is car 266. So right up here, 266. Okay. Similar name, very different looking car. So this got this more of a little safari, I don't know, off-road kind of crossover look. So that was the RDO4. So we saw the RDO2, the RDO4, and then we have the RDO6, which is car number 133. 133. So this one gets picked a lot. Students like this one. The RDO6. So we've got the RDO2, the RDO4, the RDO6. The RDO4 looks a lot different, but the RDO2 and RDO6, very similar. Well, we are now about to enter a new era of the RDO series because we've now got the RDO9, which is part of this Acceleracers series. I have not seen this. I guess it's a cartoon. I don't know if it's a Netflix thing or a YouTube thing or just a regular TV thing. I don't know. But we've got the car here, and there are 5 cars in this series. There is a Iridium, which we have, a Slingshot, which we have, a Hollowback, which we have, this RDO9, and another car called the Revert, which I'm actually going to look for because it's this one. And that looks like, just from the profile, looks like that's a car that I definitely want to see on the track. The back end there looks pretty flat. And then this profile, just kind of low. I like that. I like that a lot. So I will be looking for this car, the Revert. But right now what we've got is we've got the RDO9. So let's crack this open and see how it measures up. Now see the Silver Series. This is another one. Hang on, let me open it up. This Silver Series. Oh, this one's definitely kind of cool. Could be a Batmobile, but let's check the weight. The weight on this one is 38.2, so it's heavy. And this will, in fact, be our heaviest car so far. But this one is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This is the RDO9, and you can see it shares a little more in common. I gotta adjust this camera because I'm not catching the front part of the cars. The wings in the back are kind of crazy, and they're pretty wide. It's almost like they are going to be hugging the launching block. I don't think we've had a car like this. Even some of the airplane style cars, I don't recall a car. This is more of maybe a Batmobile has had kind of these wings, these points at the back that stick out like this. But this is definitely an unusual look. But the weight is what concerns me. Otherwise, I think this, the aerodynamic profile, I like everything about the car. I like. I'm just not sure what kind of launch it's going to get with those points, those wings, whatever, however we're gonna, describe those. But if I might as well just put this on repeat. If it can get a good launch, then I think it will be able to do something on the track. If it can get a good launch. But this is definitely, other than the weight, let's take a look at the little wings. like that could definitely be a Batmobile. With that back end like that. But we're gonna see. It is a metal base, plastic body, and it is weighing in kind of heavy. Let's see. Let me get some kind of fill light here before I take this picture. And zoom on in. And let's see what we can do here. And I'll turn it just a bit. Right there. And now we have the RDO9. We've got another addition to the RDO family. The RDO9, which I think of the RDO cars, this one may be the fastest, but it still all depends on what kind of launch it actually gets. And when you have a car where you have to kind of guess about, I hope it gets a good launch, it's not usually built for the kind of consistency that's going to be necessary to become champion and stay champion. So I don't know what we're going to get with this one, but it is definitely going to be fun to see what it can do and what kind of launch it gets and how it actually even fits into the launching block. Because here's the thing, if the blocks are, if these end up being wider than the block, then the block will slide right in here, and that'll be actually good for this car because the block will slide into this area and have this area to press against, more surface area to press against. But what I'm thinking is these are going to be just wide enough to touch the block. So we're really only going to have this point and that point touching the launching block. But the Dogfighter showed that you don't necessarily have to have a lot of surface area touching the launching block in order to become a champion. So anything is possible, and we are going to find out what happens when we put this on the track. So the RDO9, we've got the Itso-Skeenie, and we've got the Instant Boost. Now, since we're going with we've got some wild cars. One more, I went into storage, and I've got a whole bin that just has like special cars or different, like anything that's not a mainline car, the regular sort of standard off-the-shelf Hot Wheels car. A lot of character cars are in there. Unfortunately, when I was going through, I had a lot of cars with the real riders with the rubber wheels that just can't race on the track. But I did find a couple others that could race, and this one, the box is very dusty, but this is the Buzzkill, which is a kind of Bumblebee inspired car, and it's one of these color shifter cars where the icy or warm water changes the color, and I won't necessarily be dipping this into the water, but I do need to check to make sure that we don't already have one of these in the fleet. And let's check the B's. We have Buzz Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear XL01, and we have the Buzzerk. We do not have a Buzzkill, but we do now. So let's go ahead and check this one out. And let me see. I made a mistake with the spreadsheet here. That Peugeot hypercar needs to be moved down here. Okay. All right. So, Buzzkill. Let's crack this open. I don't know that we have... I I'm trying to think, are there other color shifter cars that have been in the fleet? I don't know. This one, front wheel seemed a little tight coming out of the package. Back wheels are spinning like, look at that, look at that spin. It's still going. That's a great sign that that wheel's spinning like that. But it's balanced out by this front wheel that barely, I mean, it spins, but comes to a halt pretty quickly. All right, the Buzzkill, let's see what it weighs. Buzzkill, 28.7 grams. So it's right in there with the instant boost. So that's what I mean about the matchups. If it's instant boost against Buzzkill, then the weight isn't necessarily going to be a factor because both of the cars weigh about the same amount. Let's go ahead and get this in focus. That would help. So the wings, let's talk about these wings on the Buzzkill, are hard plastic, which is cool. And how that is all gonna kind of play out, I don't know. This would be an interesting car to get in the wind tunnel. Although I suspect what would happen is the air would hit the front head of the B, come up over the top, and then run into this engine area and then just kind of break off away from the body. However, the air that does come around the sides and hit these wings, that should, it shouldn't slow the car too much. It shouldn't create too much additional drag. But this is going to be an interesting one to see on the track and to see in the wind tunnel because we don't have anything like this in the fleet. So let's go ahead and take a look right here. Get this picture of the Buzzkill. Little Bumblebee themed car. I like it. And it is next in the fleet. All right, let's get this video, see what's happening here as we take this kind of 360 view of this one. I am now at this point, I'm curious about what it actually would look like. When it changes colors, what colors does it change to? That'd be kind of interesting thing. All right, let's see. Let me get this. I made a mistake on the spreadsheet. And let's move this down here. And so the instant boost car is actually car number 967. Let's get that taken care of. Instant boost is 967, which means that the Itso-Skeenie is car number 968. And that Peugeot hypercar from a couple of weeks ago is actually car number 969. And so sometimes the cars, I have to label them a little differently just because if it's a bigger car, I have to put it in a certain space on the in the case. But all right, now with this car, it is okay, here's something I definitely like. I like the fact that it's an open wheel car, but the little antenna on the B come down and like curve around to protect the wheel. That's great. So if this B decides to fly and flies off the track, at least the wheels are protected. In the back here, instead of coming to a sharp point with a stinger, it's got this kind of curved back end, and that looks like it's going to press up nicely right against the launcher. So I think that this one has a shot. This one definitely has a shot. This is car number 971. This is the Buzzkill. And I like it. Color shifter car, lightweight, a strange design, but it is. We're gonna see. I like this one. I like the matchups that we're gonna have today are definitely pretty unique. And the wing, just checking to see if the wings fold or move or expand. They do not. They're kind of fixed in place. I like that one. The Buzzkill. All right. We have the Buzzkill. We have the RDO9, the latest addition to the RDO family. We have the Itso-Skeenie. We have the Instant Boost. And let's see, checking the year, the manufacturing year on this Buzzkill. It is also not listed. What's up with that, Hot Wheels? It's not listed, so I will have to look that up later. All right. Next up, we have another character car. Well, not another character. This is a character car. This is one I pulled from storage, and this is from a character from Aquaman, Mera, and I don't remember liking the movie all that much, and I don't remember this character, but I like this car, and apparently I picked it up and it was in storage, and DC had a bunch of these cars, and we've got an Aquaman car, the Mera car that we have here, a Black Manta car, another Batmobile, Batman Rebirth, Robin 2.0, the Joker car, and a Killer Croc car. The only one of these that I may look up and try to find is this Black Manta car. That looks like that could be pretty good on the track. But what we've got here is we've got this Mera car. And let's crack it open and take a look. And I got this from this place, Book Off, that they sell mostly used books, but they also sell used video games and used, and not necessarily used Hot Wheels, but Hot Wheels die-cast cars. All right. Let's see what this Mera car, what this weighs. The Mera is coming in. Feels heavy. But it's not. Comes in at 33.1 grams. And this looks to be mostly, well, no, it's metal-based plastic body. They just did such a great job on the paint job that it looked like it was all kind of one piece. But let's take a look at the Mera car right here from Aquaman. And this one is another one that I can see doing well because there's not much surface area on the front end, and then you start to look across where the hood, and it reminds me of the slide kick where it's just flat right across the top until you get to the back, and then it's got that little kind of wing thing, gold wing thing right there. But that's towards the back end of the car, and there is space underneath for the air to pass underneath, so I don't think it will obstruct the airflow all that much, and I don't think it will be creating too much additional drag. I like this car's chances. Now, it does seem a little narrow, and narrow cars do have run the risk of bouncing around the track, generating additional friction, which is going to slow them down a bit, but otherwise, this is a solid car to race, and that's probably why I picked it up when I saw it in the store, because I thought it could do well on the track, which is really my only consideration. There's only two things that I look for when I pick up a car, and one is how do I think do I think it will do well on the track? That's one reason why I will pick up a car. The other reason is I just think it looks cool. This is not necessarily one that I think looks all that cool, but that's just my preference and taste. But what I do think is that this one can do well on the track. Definitely. So we're going to go get our little picture here. Let me switch over. Of the Mera, this car. And I suppose I probably should have switched out the background. Make it a little easier to see. And I guess I could have done that with the RDO9, but I did not. Let's see. Let's see if it makes it a little easier. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's get the still picture with the... Alright, now you can get a better look at it. See all the curves. That's one of the things that's important, is that the students who participate in the online version of the class, if they're just looking at a picture, that they can get a sense for that back end, because we're always talking about what kind of back end does the car have. Is it going to press up against the launching block properly? That's important. So you kind of need to see that back end. So putting up the background with a little more contrast is definitely the way to go. So, all right, we've got the Mera car right here. Look at this back end. So here's an issue, that point. If it didn't have that point, then it would be good, because that whole wide back end would be pressed up against the launching block. But instead, that point is going to be the only point of contact for this car. And that means that the kind of launch or push it's going to get is going to be kind of up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen with that. So we'll have to keep an eye out on whether or not this car starts bouncing around the track. And with the cars we have so far, that's almost every single car that we've put in, I've had to say if it gets a good launch, because none of these, I'm not certain that any of these is going to get consistent quality launches. Let me check the year for the manufacturing on this one. This is 2018. 2018 on the Mera car. Drop that into the spreadsheet. All right, we are moving along. We have the Mera car, the RDO9, the Itso-Skeenie, the instant boost, and the Buzzkill. We are now going to drop in another character car, and this one, I keep saying I don't make modifications to the cars. Not like some channels where they add graphite to the wheels and they do different things to the axle, whatever. I only modify cars to make when they won't fit into the launching channel. And this is one that did not fit. This is the SpongeBob truck. It's a cool little thing, and I've had it for a while. We have the Squidward car already in the fleet. That one was pretty fast. But now we've got the SpongeBob vehicle, and what happened, and let me weigh it, and then I'll show you what happened with this one. Weighs in at 34.9 grams, so pretty solid. Put it over here and take a look. So what happened with this one is it would not fit into the launching block, or the launcher into the channel. And the reason why is because it had these pipes right here. It had them on both sides. and so it was wedging into the launch channel, and we can't have that because that friction will just prevent the car from getting any proper speed down the track. So what I had to do is, on the driver's side, I just cut off those pipes, and in doing that, the car fits in the launch channel, and because it fits in the launch channel, it can race. Now, the other thing was this wing in the back, and this is really, it's a little annoying because it makes this thing just a little taller, so I have to kind of modify even the tall acrylic cover. I have to kind of modify it a bit to make it so that this thing has some clearance and can make it through. But I did a test just to make sure it could run on the track, and it all worked out. So the SpongeBob mobile, or whatever we're calling this, is going to be in the fleet. So let me go ahead and get my still picture right here. Of the SpongeBob mobile. This car was loose, so I don't know if there's an actual Hot Wheels themed name for this car, or if it is just SpongeBob. But from here on out, we're going to call it the SpongeBob mobile. And let me go ahead and fire this up so we can take a look at it. Get our little 360 view. It's got this the round portal, the on the top, little sunroof action. And this is another of those cars where they did a very good job with the theme and bringing out the elements of the character and of the show. My son was much more of a SpongeBob guy than I was. I didn't really get it. I didn't understand why he liked it so much, but definitely popular. And I'm sure he will be looking to see how this car does, because I'm not sure how long it has been here. Just because it was loose, I just found it loose. So this may have been around here for years, and now it's going to get it shot on the track. And let's talk about the speed and the aerodynamics. It's got that huge frontal area, which I think is just going to kill it and slow it down to a point that it's not going to be as competitive as most of these other cars. I can't see it, but hey, there were some other cars. The Dogfighter I always go back to. I never expected the Dogfighter to do as well as it did. I was pleasantly surprised. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have the SpongeBob. Oh, and I think that this wing sticks up above the launching block. So the launching block actually presses right up against this back area and right up against this door. And this thing got, when I did the test run, it got a good push, but it wasn't racing against any other cars, so I couldn't really tell if it was fast or slow or what it was. But yeah, it's SpongeBob. What more needs to be said? SpongeBob is in the building and will be hitting the track. So we've got the SpongeBob car, we've got the Buzzkill, we've got the Instant Boost, we've got the Itso-Skeenie, we've got the RD09, and we've got the Mera car. We are loaded up. So then we also have some viewer cars that were picked, and I am going to go and pull those cars. So we've got those, at least 3 of those that I need to pull. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put up the little bathroom break music. It's not going to take me 5 minutes to grab these cars, but I will grab the cars and be right back. Okay, so first up is a car that was selected by a viewer. Soul. Was it Soul? What was it? Soul Creator. There we go. Soul Creator picked this Mazda RX-7 to put in the wind tunnel on Wednesday. We did that, and pretty standard aerodynamic profile, weighs in at 33.9 grams, and it is a good looking car. Let's take a look at it here. It is right here. I mean, it's just a standard car. There's nothing that we have to guess about. Oh, but what we did see, I remember this one in the wind tunnel, is the front right here. That this, right above that splitter, there's no opening. So, bring the mic a little closer. So right here, what we ended up with was a lot of air getting trapped in this area. And from the profile when we had this in the wind tunnel, it looked like a mouth. And the air was coming in and just building up right here. And this is not ideal because that air was definitely going right into this area, building up, and then it would come back and flow over the car. But the question is, how much is that going to hurt this Mazda as it goes down the track? The fact that all that air is getting trapped somewhat momentarily, but still, it's got that kind of parachute effect. You don't typically want a car with a big frontal area, just like it's the problem that we were just talking about. I mean, this is less so, but it's the same problem we were talking about with the SpongeBob car. There's too much frontal area. The air is going to hit that, and it's just going to slow down the car's forward momentum. What you want is that air to flow right over the car easily without any kind of obstructions. And this is not, well, at least from what we saw in the wind tunnel, this little mouth area at the front of the car, what we were calling it, is not going to be helpful in allowing that air to just have a clean flow over the body of the car. So we'll see how that turns out. But what I would expect is this is going to be one of those cars that starts to slow down towards the back end of the track. That's just sort of my observation, my guess. But we have other cars that have been selected, other viewer picks. Christopher decided to go with the Electrack. And let's check the weight on the Electrack. The Electrack weighs in at 34.2 grams, so not outside of the kind of sweet spot range, which is 32 to 36 grams. Now this one I like because that flat, focus this in, that flat back end, it's got the wing, which is pretty much even with that back end, and so it's going to have a lot of surface area to press up right against that launching block. When we talk about the frontal area, not a huge frontal area. The air is going to hit this front of the car. We saw it come up over the top, and in the center at least, it pretty much flowed straight back right to the wing. There's not a deep slope and drop off from the roof line to the back, so we didn't see the air kind of breaking off. It just kind of hit this and came pretty much right across, right through the back. Now what happens when the air hits these fenders here is going to be a different kind of story. we did see the air hit these and then just kind of flow up and break off. And it'll be interesting to see if this car is able to maintain its speed, or if the speed starts to drop off at the end. And that's usually the biggest indication that drag is somehow impacting these cars, is that they'll be doing well, and then it just starts to look like the other cars gaining speed and passing them, when really the car is just slowing down. And so it's an illusion that makes it look like the other car is moving faster, or gaining speed, but it's not. It's just losing speed at a slower rate. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Electrack. And now, well, other than the Buzzkill, I was going to say it's definitely today's most unique car, but I think that honor definitely goes to not definitely. It's not the only unique car. It is Roughshod's Veloci-Racer, and it weighs in at 30.8 grams, so light, but based on some of the other cars we have here today, it is not the lightest, but it is definitely unique. So we're talking about a little Velociraptor on four wheels sitting on a motor, and there you have it. Now, we talked about the mouth on that RX-7. This one actually has a mouth right here. But it's smaller, it's narrower, it's not extending across the entire front of the car, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a factor. This is one of those cars these fantasy cars that's just hard to read, and who knows what it's going to do when it actually gets onto the track. But it is, the tail comes up here, and it actually sticks out a little further than the engine. But I think what's going to happen is this is actually going to be out of the way. So the launching block is going to press up flat and clean against this engine right here. And that is going to be good for this car. It's lightweight. It's got a wild kind of design. When we put it in the wind tunnel, didn't see anything that screamed out, this is going to be a problem, but you never know. The wheels are open, but they're protected by the Velociraptor claws, I guess this would be. So we are all set. We've got the Veloci-Racer. We have the RX-7, the Electrack, the Buzzkill. We have the SpongeBob car, the Mera car. We have the Itso-Skeenie, the Instant Boost, and the RD09. We have a full set of cars ready to race, and we are about to get to that. I just have to explain, because there are probably people who are watching this saying, all right, what am I about to see? This is what you're about to see when we hit the track. You are going to see our 3-camera racetrack view. The cars will begin at the top of the screen on the left. They will be in the launcher. I will give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I will hit the switch. The cars will come flying out of the launcher. They will come from top to bottom, pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They will come from top to bottom, passing out of the screen in the middle, showing up at the top of the screen on the right. Our finish line camera. The cars will come from top to bottom. They will pass underneath the finish line, and the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light indicates the winning car, and a flashing red light indicates the losing car. We have best 2 out of 3 races, so the first car to take 2 races will move on in the tournament. And if a car happens to crash, then no problem. If the car crashes and leaves the track, we simply throw out the results of that race and run it back again. If a car crashes twice consecutively in the exact same way, then that car is disqualified, because usually if a car crashes twice in a row in a very specific way, then the problem is not going to be resolved by simply running the race again. It is something wrong with the combination of the car and the launcher, and so the cars get disqualified. Now, if a car crashes, goes upside down, sideways, whatever, but remains on the track, well, unfortunately, that counts, and the car just loses. So if your car crashes or goes up on two wheels, it's better if it crashes than doing something crazy and righting itself on the track and finishing the race, because in every instance where that happens, just about, the car that has gone up on two wheels or done something weird has lost the race. So you want your car to stay on the track. Otherwise, we switch lanes after each race, and that is about it. So we've got our cars, we've got our track. We are about to go over there and see which of these cars comes out on top and which car is going to be able to challenge the Super Stinger for the fastest in fleet title. So I will see you over at the track in 30 seconds. Okay, I left the Veloci-Racer behind and was on that stand, and I had to go back and get it. But let me just check really quickly. Check the audio. And 1 2 1 2. Yep, audio's good. We are ready to race, and let's see. I think, do I want to get the SpongeBob situation worked out immediately? Let's see. Let's get these cars lined up. Usually I'll line the cars up, and then just when the cars are just sitting there lined up, you can kind of see the matchups. Some matchups that would be good, cars that are similarly designed. Although in the end, it won't matter at all, because the fastest cars will win, and it will be regardless of how they're designed. All right, since I already have the higher, lower acrylic cover on the track, might as well go SpongeBob versus. We'll go SpongeBob versus. How about SpongeBob versus the Mazda? We'll go SpongeBob versus the Mazda RX-7. And now this Mazda, of course, this is the one with the big kind of mouth area, that big area in the front that was just trapping so much air when we put this car in the wind tunnel. That car is going to be in lane 2. SpongeBob is going to be in lane 1. The Mazda is lined up, picked by Soul Creator. All right, we are ready for race number 1. We have SpongeBob in lane 1, the SpongeBob Mobile, and we have the Mazda RX-7 in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. And SpongeBob ended up on his side, and that, like I said, that counts. You gotta get off the track. If you're gonna crash. Don't do what SpongeBob did. However, I'm gonna give SpongeBob a pass because I had to hold. It's kind of tricky because the SpongeBob car is tall because of that wing in the back that I seriously thought about cutting that thing off. And that would have made life a lot easier, but it would have taken a little bit away from the character of this character car. I didn't want to do that, so we're going to run this again because I think I may have contributed to SpongeBob ending up on his side. But, alright, so here we're going to rerun race 1. SpongeBob's in lane 1. The Mazda RX-7's in lane 2. Here we go. Race 1 reset. Three, two, one, race. There we go. We had a pretty good race. SpongeBob made it down. SpongeBob was wobbling back and forth. The Mazda kept its lead. I couldn't see how big the lead was. And it, hopefully, for the sake of the Mazda should have blown the doors off this SpongeBob car. It should have. I don't know if it did, because here's the thing. If you're racing the SpongeBob car, and the SpongeBob car has this huge frontal area and a pretty bad aerodynamic profile, then you should be able to beat that car, just on general principle. But if the Mazda only beat the SpongeBob car by a little bit, that kind of means that when it goes up against some of these other cars in the fleet that I think are going to be fast, it's going to have a problem. But hey, you deal with the car that's in front of you, and then you worry about the others when it's time. So this is what we're doing. We've got the SpongeBob car. Let's get it pressed in. The SpongeBob Mobile is in lane 2. We've got the Mazda RX-7 in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Now that seemed a little more like it. So the Mazda absolutely destroyed SpongeBob. So SpongeBob will be heading back to the garage, and let me see, just a little adjustment with the finish line sensor, but that one we didn't need to check the finish line to see what was the outcome, because that was pretty clear. So SpongeBob back to Bikini Bottom, and we are now going to move on. Let's go. This is a race that just looks, based on just looking at the cars, they're both small, compact cars, and I want to see which one comes out on top. We're going to go with the Buzzkill versus the Instant Boost. So the what was it? The little Bumblebee, car versus the Coffee Cup, and we'll see which one comes out on top. I think that, as we said with most of these cars, what kind of launch is the car going to get? That's going to be the thing. We're putting the Buzzkill in lane 1, putting the Instant Boost in lane 2. Both of these cars were light, kind of compact cars. We'll see what happens. So Instant Boost in lane 2, Buzzkill in lane 1, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Ooh. So the Instant Boost, you could see from that when it got to about the point where the Instant Boost just kind of came to a stop, right about here, right about this part of the track, that Instant Boost looked like it got an instant boost and just started to blow by the Buzzkill. The Buzzkill looked like it just started slowing down. And with lighter cars, with some cars with odd aerodynamic profiles, that's what happens. Drag gets them, they slow down, and from that point, it's kind of a wrap. We'll see if that happens again. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. The instant boost is now in lane 1. The Buzzkill is in lane 2. Race number 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Yeah, at about that halfway point, the Buzzkill just starts slowing down, and that instant boost did not. And that is that. I wonder why. Well, we'll put the Buzzkill in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, but it really lost a lot of speed. A lot. And I mean, I don't know that I've seen many cars do that poorly, that they are so clearly losing speed halfway through the race. And I'm not sure why that is. I have my suspicions that it has to do with the aerodynamic profile of this thing. But we will put it in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, and we will see what we can see. But what we do know is the instant boost has moved on. All right, next up, we're going to go with the let's go with the RDO9, because I want to see how this lines up in the launching block against Christopher's Electrack. So Electrack versus the RDO9. We have the RDO2, the RDO4, and the RDO6. 2, 4, 6, I guess they decided to skip 8 and just went right to 9. Okay. So, here's what's happening with the RDO9. Those 2 points are just barely touching the outside of the launching block, so that is the only point of contact it's going to get, versus the Electrack, which is pressed up all the way against the launching block, which is exactly what you want. The Electrack's in lane number 2. The RDO9's in lane number 1. Race number 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. RDO9 said, yeah, I've got 2 small points of contact, but I've got 4 fast wheels, and it took that race, and it is now up 1-0. That was not close. I thought the Electrack would do a little better, but it's just one race, and you know, maybe it got a funny launch, something like that. It wasn't a bad launch, but sometimes, you know, something happens, cars can come back. But the Electrack is going to have to win 2 races in a row. And that is, it's common. It's absolutely common around here. But it's not usually common after you get blown out like that. And that race was not close. So let's go ahead and put the Electrack in lane number 1. RDO9 is in lane number 2. Can get it to stay put. Got it. All right, Electrack, lane 1, RDO9, lane 2, race 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. It's another case where about halfway through, the RDO9 just starts pulling away, which means that the Electrack was slowing down. So the RDO9 is moving on. The Electrack not going anywhere except right back to the garage. And we are now going to see one of the most unique cars we've had hit the track in a while, which is Roughshod's Veloci-Racer. The Veloci-Racer is going to go up against this Itso-Skeenie, which, first of all, let me check and see if the Veloci-Racer, is it going to need the taller acrylic cover? Absolutely. So let's get that. We've got the tall cover, short cover thing happening. And even with the tall cover, I'm going to have to boost it up some more. It's kind of like the SpongeBob thing. Yep. So what happens is the tail on the Veloci-Racer, it's just like that wing on the back of the SpongeBob car. It moves up, it swoops up and just makes the car that much taller. So we're going to put Itso-Skeenie in lane 1, and this Veloci-Racer is going into lane number 2. And then I'm bringing back out the SpongeBob. Gotta boost this thing up. Alright, so Itso-Skeenie in lane 1, the Veloci-Racer in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. That was a good race. Oh, here comes, check out the Veloci-Racer coming all the way back. That was a close race, at least from my perspective, and I had to check the lights, but the solid red light indicates the Veloci-Racer took it. So we will see the Itso-Skeenie. I didn't see it bouncing around the track necessarily. It's hard to see once the cars get past the first camera. The tripod kind of blocks my view of what's happening in lane 1 further down the track, so I couldn't really get a good sense for what the Itso-Skeenie was doing. But what it did do in the end is lose, and we are going to switch lanes, flip this acrylic cover, and with the Veloci-Racer, that means we are going to be seeing more of this cover. I thought we were done with it with the SpongeBob car, but nope. Alright, so Itso-Skeenie is lined up in lane number 2, and the Veloci-Racer is lined up in lane number 1. Let's get this cover flipped around. Alright, race number 2, Veloci-Racer lane 1, Itso-Skeenie in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, that Veloci-Racer, it had some speed on that one. It had some speed. I don't know, it seems like the Itso-Skeenie is it was definitely overmatched, outmatched in that race, and it is now heading back into the garage. And the Veloci-Racer is moving up. We've got now, let's see, which car do we have left that hasn't raced? Oh, the Mera car from Aquaman. Mera, I don't remember the character, barely kind of remember the movie, but we're going to go with the Mera car versus the Mazda. Soul Creator's pick is this Mazda RX-7. Move the taller cover. We will be seeing that a little later. Slide this over. And the Mera car. It's much like, it reminds me of the slide kick. There's nothing, the top of it is flat. The only thing that concerns me is this point in the back. It's got that little point that is the only part of the car that's touching the launching block. Will that make a difference? I don't know. We're going to see. So we've got the Mazda RX-7, Soul Creator's pick, in lane 2, and we have the Mera car in lane 1. Race number 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Mera car, it started to lose a little bit of steam about 2/3 of the way down, and that Mazda, even with that kind of what we're calling the mouth that was trapping in the air, it was able to take that race, and we're gonna see if it can take one more and move on closer. So it just goes to show this is another car that I didn't expect much from based on what we saw in the wind tunnel, but it could be that this is just a fast car, or it could be matchups, or it could be a combination of the two. We're going to put the Mazda in lane 1, put this Mera car with its single tiny point of contact in lane 2, Mera lane 2, Mazda lane 1, race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Yeah, that Mera car had the lead. Through the halfway point, it had the lead, and then it started slowing down for whatever reason, and that Mazda just kept moving and took the race. So it's definitely an interesting thing to see that just that illusion of one car gaining speed, which it's not doing, but it's a cool look, and it's something that you can see, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to create a flat drag track and have the cars launch out at higher rates of speed, because at a higher rate of speed you can see that deceleration pretty clearly and pretty obviously. So this Mazda's moving on. We are gonna go let's go Veloci-Racer and RD09. So bringing the RD09 back. Actually, you know what? We'll go. We'll go Veloci-Racer and RD09. That sounds good. All right, let me bring out the other cover. Get these cars set up, situated. Veloci-Racer will be in lane 2. The RD09 will be in lane 1. The RD09 has some very odd and kind of interesting points of contact, but we are ready to go. RD09, lane 1, Veloci-Racer lane 2, race 2 here, or race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That RD09, I mean, that thing took off and did not look back. That was just, I mean, you're talking about blowout. That was something that was just not, I didn't expect that. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect that. Okay, maybe the Veloci-Racer got a little bit of a shaky start. We'll see. It's got another race to make it up. It's got to win this race in order to force a third race. Let me flip all of this stuff around. Here. Put this here. Get these cars loaded in. Veloci-Racer now in lane 1. And the RD09 in lane 2. RD09 is going to try and pull off that level of victory again. All right, Veloci-Racer lane 1, RD09 lane 2, race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Okay. So maybe the Veloci-Racer just got a, bad launch in that first race. But this race, it was close. Veloci-Racer took it. So now we're going to see what happens in race number 3. This is going to be interesting. So with the Veloci-Racer, anytime I have to modify the acrylic cover by like raising it up a little more, there's always more of a chance that you're going to get some kind of odd launch. Ideally, I don't want to have to raise one side up over the other, but it's how it is, and certain cars require it, and we want to get them to race because we don't want to miss out on what a car could potentially do just because we can't accommodate it on the track. So that is what we're trying to do, get all these cars to race. And sometimes it takes a little modification. Other times, they can just line up and go. So here is the third and final race between the Veloci-Racer and the RD09. The Veloci-Racer is in lane 2. The RD09 is in lane 1. Race 3, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Maybe it was the RD09 that got the bad launch in the second race that made that race close, because this third race, not close at all. So the RD09 is moving on. The RD09 is now just, it's already, that win pushes it to the finals. And we're going to see right now between the Mazda, the RX-7, and the Instant Boost, which car is going to be facing the RD09. And the RD09 from the Acceleracers series just accelerated its way into the finals. Switch this here. All right, Instant Boost versus the Mazda RX-7. We're going to line them up, see which of these cars is going to get it, make it to the finals. We're going to put the Instant Boost in lane number 2, the Mazda in lane 1. Here we go, race 1, Mazda lane 1, Instant Boost lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That Mazda is moving and took that race with ease. And I guess the concerns that I had that we were seeing from the wind tunnel, that the air was building up at the front of the in front of the Mazda, like right there at the bumper and the splitter. Turns out hasn't really been a problem so far, at least in the races that it's had. The car has been quick, and we haven't seen any signs that it's slowing down toward the back end, so that's good. Unless you're the Instant Boost and you need the car to slow down so you can catch it and beat it. The Instant Boost is now in lane 1, and the Mazda is in lane 2. Instant Boost lane 1, Mazda lane 2, race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo-hoo. That one was close. Had to look at the lights to see which car took it, but as you can see, solid red light means the winner, and the winner in this case is the Mazda RX-7. Soul Creator has now pushed his car to the finals, and it is going to be the Mazda RX-7 versus the RD09. All right, so let's go ahead and see which of these cars is going to take on the Super Stinger to these cars have both been impressive. The Mazda has been a bit of a surprise to me just because of that frontal area. I didn't expect to see it maintain speed all the way through to the end as it's done, but hey, it's what it's doing. Mazda RX-7, lane 2. We have the RD09, lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That RD09 is racing like it's a problem. And this is the second race that this RD09 has had that has been an absolute just obliteration. Like that wasn't even close. And I didn't see anything wrong with the Mazda's launch. Sometimes if a car really gets a bad launch, I can feel the car kind of bang up against the acrylic cover in a pretty clear way. That wasn't the case. Nothing happened other than the RD09 blew the doors off the Mazda. But that's just one race. The Mazda can come back and take race number 2 and 3. Then hey, it's our champ. If it does not, if it loses this race, then it's the RD09 standing tall. So here we go. RD09 lane 2, Mazda lane 1, race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. The race was closer, but not close enough. RD09 is our winner of today's tournament. It is from the Accelerator series, and it carries on the legacy of the RD02, RD04, and RD06, all of which have raced. And we are now going to see if the RD09 has what it takes to beat out the champion. And the champion, our fastest in fleet car, is the Super Stinger. And the Super Stinger, very unique car, has beaten out the Batmobile, the Arkham Asylum edition, and then it defended its title last week. So we're going to go and we're going to put the Super Stinger in lane 1. We're going to put the RD09 in lane 2. These cars are ready to go. Super Stinger, fastest in fleet champion in lane 1. RD09, the challenger, in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. RD09 took it. RD09 is one race away from giving us our third fastest in fleet champion, our third different fastest in fleet champion in about a month and a half or so. We are going to switch sides, and we will be putting the Super Stinger in lane 2. Super Stinger sitting comfortably in lane 2, and the RD09 in lane 1. This is for the fastest in fleet title. If the RD09 takes it, it's our new champ. If the Super Stinger wins it, we're going to a third race. Here we go. RD09 lane 1, Super Stinger lane 2. Three, two, one, race. Absolute obliteration once again. The RD09 is our new fastest in fleet car. It is the car that has taken out the Super Stinger emphatically with distance. So let me grab these cars, head back into the garage, take a look at the winners, the losers, what did we see, and what's coming up next. I'll be back in just a minute. And we have a new champ. It is the RD09. It came in from the Accelerators series and really didn't have much competition. Some of the races were closer, but it had 3 absolutely dominant wins. And I really didn't expect it because I didn't expect consistent launches because of these points here. And these points on the car, basically, let me stop this turntable. When the cars press up against the launching block is a square, but it's got kind of rounded edges. And so this point and that point just basically barely touched the rounded edges of the launching block. So I wasn't certain that this was going to get consistently good launches, but it turns out it did, and it was not even kind of close. It was not close. This car took out the Super Stinger. The Super Stinger had been our champion for 2 weeks. Prior to that, we had the Batman Arkham Asylum Batmobile. That was our champion for about 2 weeks. And then we had the Mercedes-Benz 500E. That was our champion for about a week or so. And here we are. The turnover is pretty consistent now. And all cars are on the table. Anything can happen. And we just need to find out which car is going to be the next one to actually challenge the RD09. Some of the cars, like the Super Stinger, was winning, but it wasn't winning in such a dominant way that it made me think this car could be around for a while as the champion. The RD09 did. It won. It beat different types and styles of cars with ease and with distance. Some of those wins, the win against the Veloci-Racer and that last one against the Super Stinger, were some of the biggest margins of victory we've seen on the track, period. So this car may be around for a while, and that would be kind of refreshing, given the fact that the last few champions have only been able to manage staying on top for about 2 weeks, which is a lot different from those long runs we had from the Gazella, from the Blitz Speeder. So we will see. Can this car be beaten? Odds are the answer is yes. We have 972 other cars to challenge it. So if you think that you want to find a car that is going to be faster than the RD09, all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live and select the choose your car option, you will be taken to this page and all of the cars are listed. The RD09 will be there soon. One car that was very odd in its performance, and I wasn't sure what to expect, didn't expect what we saw, is this one, the Buzzkill. And get it in focus. The Buzzkill came out of the launcher, and it would get to the halfway point, and you could just see it slowing down. The other cars would catch it, pass it. I don't know, and it finished the race. It made it to the end. I don't know that we've seen a car decelerate as quickly as the Buzzkill. Like, you could just see it both times it raced. It'd get about halfway through, and then it would just start to slow down, and the other car would just start opening up. It would catch it and then open up a huge gap. And not sure why that is. I'm sure it has something to do with the design, because why else would that happen? So we're going to put the car in the wind tunnel on Wednesday and take a look and see what, what we can see from that to kind of tell us and explain what we saw today. Same thing, the RD09, being that it's our new fastest in fleet car. It will be the first car into the wind tunnel. We always put our fastest in fleet car into the wind tunnel first, and this, since we just cracked it open today, it will be its first trip into the wind tunnel, so we'll get to see what we see there. This one, another car that was kind of a disappointment, was this one, the Mera car. Now, it was, I think, racing the RD09, so that's, what you're going to do. But this car is narrow, but it's also another one that, like the Buzzkill, it just slowed down toward the back part of the track. And, I'm not exactly sure of the reason why that happened. The launches that it got were iffy because of that little point right in the back. That was the only part of the car that was touching the launching blocks. So I don't know that this car got the best launches. I didn't see it bouncing around the track too much. So, it's hard to say, but it absolutely got to about the last third of the track and then just slowed down, and whoosh, other cars passed it, and that was that. So we have those cars. The SpongeBob car, we got it onto the track. It didn't do all that well, but we didn't expect it to, based on the aerodynamic profile. But we do have a new champ, the RD09. So this car will be in the wind tunnel on Wednesday. We will check that out. If you want to select a car to go into the wind tunnel, all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live and select choose your car. You will be taken to our page that has all of the cars listed, and just find the one you want, take the number, and you'll drop it in the chat. Once you do that, I will pull the car, and we will throw it in the wind tunnel. And if it's the car you want to race, then we will pull it out on Saturday and see what happens if you can take out the RD09. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but we always have fun trying. So we'll be back here next Saturday with more cars to race. If you want to see any old episodes, go to our YouTube channel, AtTheTrack. Just check the live tab, and we'll be good. And then we'll be back on Wednesday. See you roughshod. That's it. So for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, for AtTheTrack.live, and for All About Aerodynamics, I am Coach James. And until next time, I will see you at the races.